C3 podcast. We're all gathered here again. This time filled on point in Josh's Pueblo.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
House for non-Spanish speaking.
That's right.
I'm just trying to get you guys cultural diversity going on.
I refuse to speak Spanish, actually.
So,
I speak.
Opening your horizons, forcing
American.
you to Google.
Josh Casa.
Casa de Josh.
That's right.
Gone with the Josh.
But yes, here we are. Happy New Year to all of our
That's right.
faithful followers.
Another 5-star intro.
Nothing will ever beat our outros are usually better.
So let's just jump into it. Star Wars.
Nothing but Star Wars.
Star Wars.
How many viewings? What are you guys up to?
I'm to 2.
I'm just at the one still.
Yeah.
Actually, I thought
I just got the one.
I ain't got time.
I thought it was better the second time.
Yes.
Well, I got plenty of time, but
I would like to go see it again, but I've been so busy lately with all my other stuff. So
Right. No, I did. Our 6th viewing the other day.
Oh,
So
wow.
right on.
Whoa.
Awesome.
I think I'm okay for
Until it comes out on Blu-ray.
maybe. I might do one more time.
Yeah.
So if I could sneak in on D-Box.
Yeah.
Because 3D.
that's the
We did 3D this last time on Saturday, and that was a
You think it was worth going to in
like
3D?
3D. It seemed like there was a lot of what do I want to say? Like there was a lot more enhancement.
Yeah.
You know, where compared to the 2D, like there seemed to be a lot more that they, I don't know, added in or whatever for 3D. And
Cool.
definitely, I don't know if I'd go back. You know, I have a hard time. Well, as any kid with glasses, like. You know, I spent half of the movie. Yeah. It's always half the movie. Like I have to like keep one eye closed, and then I'll sit there and
Adjust.
and you know, and I found myself like when I do 3D now, like half the movie I won't even have my glasses on. Like I'll take them off. I don't mind if it's a little blurry.
Yeah.
But it's like until I see it go into full sprawl 3D mode, then I'll put them back on. But just clip-ons. Come on, guys. Like all this fancy technology, and you can't give me 2 3D lenses that I can just.
Yeah. Well,
I bet you can buy that. We should look online.
Yeah.
we put a man on the moon before we put wheels on luggage, so
Hey.
maybe we're getting there.
Is that true?
It is true.
Yeah.
We invented the can opener before the can. So, or wait, no, I think it was the other way around.
I would hope so. What are we opening with the can opener? It's not a can. Well, it's an opener of some sort. but-
That is
Clamshell packaging.
that is some Joshonomics engineering. The can opener and then the can.
Supply and demand. People demand things. They have the supply of can openers and things demanded to be
When the
opened.
can's open, that might work.
Joshonomics 101.
That's right.
Oh.
That's right.
But see, my first viewing went to the Carmike Theater, which
Yeah.
you know that theater's okay. Me and some guys went in the afternoon work, so it wasn't so busy. This couple brought their kid in, and kid was okay until about 3/4 of the movie. Then of course, you know, the kid was crying, so they took it away, and they didn't have the movie like ripped or something. It kept skipping, so that was kind of sucky.
Really?
But
Weird.
then I saw it again at the Pharaoh's Theater in the Grand, and I'm glad I did
Oh yeah.
because
World of difference.
It is.
And yeah.
I mean, from theater to theater, just a huge difference.
No, and I noticed that too. Like our first viewing was Carmike for those outside Bismarck. It's kind of our older dirt mall theater.
Yeah. No offense to it, you know. I
No,
still
no
like
offense.
to it,
I mean,
but
you know, they're classic. They're one of our older theaters, but I mean,
cheaper.
Yeah, it's a bit cheaper.
Nobody maintains it. Is the problem.
Yeah, nobody. And here's the thing. So we, and I don't know, say this on film or not. So we walked in. We went to that Friday, opening Friday. Nobody was at the front door. Nobody was in the ticket booth.
What time did you go?
We did the 4 o'clock.
Oh,
And
that's
then-
because of my company.
Yeah, and so, yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
But I mean, I had already prepaid tickets, but yeah, there was nobody there.
But
we stood there for a few. Like we bought our
so-
pop and popcorn, and nobody ever once.
So what happened was that the company that I work for bought out a theater because one of our suppliers gave us money to treat all of our clients. So we got all this money and we bought the theater out. Then we get there and everybody's standing in line. Everybody who works at that theater was just doing concessions because they didn't even have enough people to do all those concessions. I think they have 5 employees working that day and they were all doing concessions. And then, of course, there was a lady behind me, and she goes, "Who's taking tickets?" And then I explained to her, I was like, "Well, this is probably for the 4:30 show, whatever. It was bought by a private, so and so and so that." And she goes, "Well, you should let them know that." Yeah, lady, I'm gonna go up to the front and say, "Hey, there's some lady who wants to go to the movie. Y'all should stop what you're doing and get on over here."
That's right.
Customer's always right, Kyle.
That's right.
Well, yeah,
Even when you don't work there,
Right.
the customer is right.
right.
Yeah.
When we went there for the afternoon show, no one was opening the ticket booth either. So we're standing in line, and then there's a line that's forming behind us, and we're like, "Oh, where are these people?" And like right in front of us, on the window, is tickets available at concessions. So we're standing there for like 15 minutes, like, "Oh, we're gonna be late to this movie," and then all of a sudden I was like, "Well, we could just read this fucking sign." But they're like standing there watching us, like, "Come on, come out or say like motion something."
Yeah.
Don't just stand there and watch us look like idiots.
Yeah.
But,
Well, and that's the thing with that type of theater, where it's like, if you're familiar with their operations, like, oh yeah, go in and get it from concessions.
Yep.
But it's like that's first movie I think I've seen there. I think episode 2 was the last one I saw at Carmine.
Wow.
And so, I've had no reason to go back. But
you can get the bucket, the annual bucket that you can bring back and refill, for $25.
I wish more theaters would do that.
Yeah.
And that's one thing, Grand right now, and I understand they're paying for the remodel, but what they're up to, $6, $7 for a large pop. They're up to, because it's like $24.50 for 2 medium pops and a medium popcorn. So it's like that's a $50 date to go to bring a gal to the movies, and it's like that's pretty ridiculous. But that being said, though, popcorn aside, did anybody go for the tin? The big $40. Apparently, there's a collectible tin.
When I went to the Star Wars movie in the Grand, I got an Alvin and the Chipmunks bucket. So
okay, yeah.
Yeah, I heard.
Wonder how well that movie did.
5th? They placed 5th.
Really?
For their opening weekend, which isn't bad. For
I suppose kids gotta go. The Last Dinosaur sold out every time.
I've heard good
that
reviews
thing destroyed.
Look in the. Audio wise, Grand's the way to go. And for those of you out there, definitely hit up whatever theater can provide you the best experience, and
it's definitely worth going to in a theater.
No doubt. Star Wars overall, absolutely loved it. Initial review, it's New Hope 2.0, which my initial viewing I was a little let down.
Yeah.
Second viewing, I was like, okay, I need to pretend I'm 8.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I'm seeing Star Wars. And this is something that I can grow up with and that a kid could grow up with. And they definitely nailed it there. Some of the gripes, some of the biggest gripes that I had, it was kind of aesthetic. It was all just little, the throwback comments and stuff, and the whole, like with Han and Chewie, and there was a lot of that throwback. Bringing in Akbar and Num and stuff. They had no reason to be there.
Yeah.
And then with Han and Chewie, where and this is nerd gripe. So
this is all nerd gripe.
That's what we do.
So they get on the ship, and first she says, "Yep, the Falcon's garbage. Nobody's flown this for years. If nobody's flown it for years, then why did they have to put a fuel pump and a compressor on it? That Han didn't know how to work, and then Ray eventually bypasses it all. But if it hadn't flown, and nobody was intending on flying it,
Well, they're gonna see more of a.
That I thought, isn't it like ion propulsion engines? Does that need a fuel pump?
I don't know how ions work.
I'm not familiar with.
I'm not a physicist.
Space technology. It's not my strong suit. I probably couldn't have bypassed the compressor or whatever. So.
Which was apparently I don't know.
A little circuit, it was Raspberry Pi.
Yeah,
That's what it
Raspberry.
was.
This is why we can't have joy in our lives, Mike.
I'm sorry.
I was telling somebody we did this is like gripes like that. Like it's the
Nerd
whole
stuff.
It's the Superman turning back time. Like that's illogical.
Yeah.
He can fly and shoot heat from his eyes, you guys.
Yeah.
Like,
It's all illogical.
at what point do you drop the line?
There's only one thing that could have made it better in my mind, and this would have ruined the movie for everyone. So, at the end when Rey climbs the 1,000 stairs, it was like the first thing I thought of was Skyrim right away. Have you guys played Skyrim? She's going on the 1,000 stair journey to go to the graybeards.
Yeah.
But when she finds the guy in the cloak, and she should have been like, Luke, and then all you hear is, I'm not a Luke, but Misa knows where you can find him.
Like,
And then credits.
Yeah.
That would have I
and
just
then
I would have
watches all
lost
the
it.
theaters burned down.
Yeah, there would have been riots.
I would have absolutely lost my mind if that's exactly what happened,
No
but
doubt.
thankfully it didn't.
Or even better is if, damn it, Josh, we're filming. If she hands, you could just have him hand Luke Skywalker the lightsaber, and then Jar Jar could come and put his arm around him and put, "We so ready, we so real ready."
No, thank God for none of that. No, let's see.
There's a lot
You know,
of theories that come with the.
lot of good theories behind who's who. My thing, well, jumping in, with theories. I don't think Finn is going to be a stormtrooper, and I don't think he's going to be.
He was a
He
stormtrooper.
was a stormtrooper.
He's supposed to be Kylo.
Well,
Dizian's. I can't remember his
It's
name.
supposed to Lando.
Lando
That's one thing.
Calrissian.
And the only reason that theory's there is because he's the the second black guy to be in Star Wars.
Yeah.
But,
Third.
third.
After Mace.
Yeah.
Mace Windu.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Samuel Jackson.
But why can't he be Sam Jackson's kid?
That's true.
I like that theory more than I like, because if you're gonna go a Jedi route, with Rey, with her, I don't want her to be Skywalker. Everything's pointing Skywalker.
Right.
Everyone's saying it might be a Kenobi though.
Potentially,
cool.
which could be cool, but he never had kids. We know Obi-Wan. That's why
We don't know that.
Well, back when, if you go early episodes, that's why he initially takes on Anakin in them, because he doesn't have anybody. Because he wanted to be a father figure, and
Well, Jedi, you can't love as a Jedi, Kyle.
you're not supposed
Obviously, you guys haven't read my fan fiction between episodes 2 and 3. Let's just say Anakin doesn't get there first.
to. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, it works. Which could be good. That could
Did you
explain
see
her
the
accent.
Disney announcement?
Yeah.
The following is canon.
Yeah.
The 3 movies, a couple of the books,
And
and
Kyle's
this guy's fan fiction.
Signed by George Lucas himself.
I definitely.
Executive order.
And then I was there, I was just, it's real nasty.
I do like JJ's take on. He definitely put a lot more humor bits in the dialogue, which
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, thank God.
Well, see,
I saw a
here's-
Star Wars movie with good dialogue.
Yeah, here's the thing. Is like I went back. I watched 4, 5, 6 episodes 2 and 3, and like you watch 4, 5, and 6 are all good. Like they're not humorous. There's moments that are like that's kind of
funny.
funny.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
But then you watch episodes 2 and 3,
And there's none.
and it's quip after quip after quip after quip,
Yeah.
and it's just not funny. It's
Yeah.
like in the battle on in episode 2 when C-3PO's head gets replaced by the battle droid, and he's like, "I'm losing my head," and then like
Yeah.
R2 drags him over his body. He's like, "Oh, I'm beside myself." Like, shut up!
Yeah.
Nobody talks like that.
You know, it's
Stop
all
it,
it's all the
please.
hate Jar Jar gets. C3PO is. I don't like him. He's.
Hey, he's
Oh heavens, my punch him!
Yeah.
I'd rather I don't know. I'd rather put up with Jar Jar than C3.
3PO.
Sometimes.
3PO he's a good guy. He's up to over 7 million forms of communication.
Yeah.
I did think that was kind of funny though. I like how they just went the blatant route with him. Like the first words, he gets. It's like, oh, I suppose you don't recognize me with my wrong arm. Oh, like, look at me. And Han's like, yeah,
Shut up.
You're good. Keep walking. Like,
Move it, ball.
but with with Rey in the whole thing, it's like, oh, she's gonna be a Skywalker, which doesn't hold any merit for me right now until I can get some more evidence or whatever.
Not everyone has to be related.
No, and I think that would kind of take away from they established, and it wouldn't make any sense for both Luke and Leia to have to give up their kids.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Luke especially, like if he went the Jedi route, he wasn't going to take on a family and kids, and
Exactly.
we'll find out later, who he was teaching or what he was doing, whatever. But I like the idea of just new blood.
Yeah.
Luke. It's like that made it a big deal. And then I really, really, really hope that they don't go. I hope they're not trying to go 2.0 across the board, and in part
Kylo
8 or
Ren
part 9,
going.
it's going to be Luke's the father now.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
really hope they don't do that.
What do you think of
Luke
the
would be the father to
Ray.
Ren or Ray? I
Yeah.
meant.
Ray.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say Ren. I
No,
was like, oh,
we already know. Oh,
But,
wait a second.
Which could
Who
explain,
told
could
you I was your
explain,
father? I'm your father.
Yes.
Ew. It's just a panned out shot of a planet, and all you hear is 1,000 years.
What do you think? What are your thoughts on the theories surrounding Kylo Ren? What have you heard? I guess.
Well, with him, so it's so we know he's the son. We know we have that. I think he'll come around. I think he's going to end up being the
hero.
But before these 3 parts are done, I want to see Finn and Kylo both die, and I think it'll come down to that. It'll come down to something major.
Yeah.
Like him and Finn will somewhere in this next episode they'll have to be chummy or something. But I think they'll get rid of both of them, and I think Kylo he'll be light side. He'll be the one that takes it. It'll be him. And I think we'll see where they're setting up the 2.0 mirror here.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's gonna, if I were to call it now, I'm guessing it's gonna be her versus Snoke, or Snoke ordering Kylo attack. She'll get hurt. Kylo will come around and attack the Master.
I can't do it, man.
My favorite theory surrounding him was written, but it was just ridiculously written in all caps and like Tumblr-esque verbiage. However, I kind of like how outlandish it is. So Kylo realized like he's on the light side. He's been on the light side the whole time, but he realizes the only way to get to Snook is to become a Sith fully.
Yep.
And in order to do that, he has to obviously kill. He has to prove that he's fully on the Sith. So when he asked, Han for help, then he knew he didn't have the strength to kill Han alone.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Han had to help him become the path of the Sith so he could get there. And the things that he uses to back it is he wants to start or finish what Darth Vader started. Well, technically Darth Vader at the end had the turn of heart and threw Palpatine down. So technically Vader started the rebellion against the Sith. So if he wants to finish that,
but at this point,
you don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Just a theory,
Snoke, and right now I'm thinking Snoke. Snoke's going to be a little 3-foot Yoda type.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
He's going to be another.
An evil Yoda. That'd be cool.
Another Oz type character.
Do you think, because this was another one in that third movie. By the way, I just realized that if Kenobi got there first, that Ren would in fact be older than Luke.
Right.
Yeah.
So Disney really messed up when they accepted my fan fiction. But anyways, time travel will fix it. Anyways,
That's Superman.
Yes, let Superman fixes.
no. See, Superboy shows up and he punches reality.
Punches time.
Punches the Force.
Punches the Force.
Yeah.
But what's they're saying from that third Star Wars movie, the opera scene where who's the Sith Master talks about?
Plagius. Darth Plagius.
Darth Plagius. Do you think that Snook is going to be
Potentially
either Plagius or
Another apprentice or something.
Yeah.
going to be connected with that?
Yeah, which is possible.
Yep.
And I do like the idea of like him being another great leader. But the big thing is that we're seeing like right now is that like with Knights of Ren, with those guys, they're not Jedi. And it's like, and the thing is with Kylo, like even at this point, I mean, he's Force strong.
Yep.
But nobody
not,
else. But he's not
not
Jedi.
trained.
And he's not Sith, and he's not.
That's true because he said it's time for him to train. He wasn't even. Apparently, he wasn't even trained.
He
Really.
became a master of with the Knights of Ren, and that was a whole different. So he learned how to use some of his skills through Luke, and then. One thing I was reading, and I don't know if they've officially confirmed or denied or whatever, because they were talking like, what is it in the Star Wars like everything you need to know book, because they were talking like the little nods, like where apparently like one of the things was like apparently they think, or I don't know if it's canon or whatever, but like his lightsaber was made from what was left over from Vader's.
That'd be cool.
And then one of the things I was reading, because that's why it's awful, and somebody was like bringing up like that's exhaust. It's not a hilt.
Yeah,
it's
it's
exhaust.
It's exhaust.
Because
it's to allow it to stabilize.
Yeah,
and you can tell like when it was close up, it wasn't like a smooth.
It's a
like,
fiery,
regular-
blade.
Yep. And so using a cracked crystal or whatever, and then so it's like, okay, why, if at this point he'd be Jedi or Sith, like you'd assume he would have built, another.
Well, he's got to travel to get his new crystal, and
yeah, so he's got time to go do that. Let's see. Overall though, I'd have to say I did absolutely love it. I mean, I saw it multiple times. I'll watch it multiple times. And the little things, I guess, I understand bringing it to modern times and whatever. I have like I said, my nerd gripes, where it was like the whole like the scene with Finn and Phasma. It's like, who's in control now? Who's in control now? And Han's like, bring it down, kid. Like, simmer down now, simmer down. Like, bringing that kind of modern dialogue, which I appreciate it. But then this one definitely eliminated the whole long time ago. And that's one thing that is kind of bumming me out, because when you go back originally, and it's nice. I mean, Star Wars has never had that was 10,000 years ago. That was 50,000, whatever. I mean, they've always just said it's before our time and whatever. And then now in this one, where it's like, okay, you kind of modernized it, which is fine. Update it, make it clean. Phasma, I'm hoping we get to see more of her. I was really, really excited.
She should have been that trooper that had that shock weapon thing.
Right.
I mean, that would have
made
made
more sense. Yeah, she should have had some sort of redeeming scene, and instead,
other than just
she's this hard ass who also
4 lines of dialogue.
Yeah, her one job is to protect her people, and that's all it takes is, I don't know, one lowly former stormtrooper to be like, I'll shoot you if you don't turn it off. And she just lets it go.
Yep.
And then the funny thing being there is that, like, apparently her armor is supposed to be, like, made from the former emperor's ship, or like his throne or something along those. And if any other Star Wars junkies out there can confirm or deny. But I thought I'd read something like that. Like, her armor is supposedly made from the whatever alloy, and it's supposed to be this indestructible. Like, she's supposed to be the Stormtrooper Prime, and nothing doing with her. I really, really liked just the overall feel of it.
Poe is my favorite.
Poe looking good.
Awesome.
I loved him.
A great addition. Although I still want to know how he got back. Somebody picked him up off Jakku and brought him back to base. Why they didn't just take the time to scan for BB-8 and go pick them up themselves, I'm not too sure.
Story.
So I had. Who knows a lot about the expanded universe? Do you know, like?
Off and on.
It's Mara Jade. Of her, right?
Right.
Did she have, like, when the expanded universe was canon, did she have Luke's old lightsaber?
I think at one point she did.
Because that was bothering me. Like, I just, like, online, somebody was talking about, there's that scene where, like, Rey gets the lightsaber and she asks how they got it back. That's time for another story. They couldn't get the lightsaber back. That's not possible.
Right.
I'm like, you guys, like, that happened before. Like, that's already happened
one
time
ago. Yeah.
in the expanded universe. I mean, like, it's just,
Yeah, his sword.
Also,
and
once again,
we'll find out.
We're in a movie where just things are just ridiculous.
Just let it. And that whole thing, because like, and they were with Rey. Again, go back on her real quick, like, because they're definitely alluding to the Skywalker, where it's like, it's Anakin and Luke's called out to you, and da da da, and it's like, well, I don't know. I don't want that to be the case. I want her to be something new. Like I said, and we don't need it to be generations. We do not need this to be, let's tie everybody together.
These characters can stand alone all by themselves.
Yeah, and they need to. And this movie definitely...
Silence the phone, Josh. it's hiding over here.
It still can hear it, though.
It's hiding.
It's one setting. Just hit the button.
It's silence.
There you go. Easy.
My clan is in battle. Clash of Clans.
bringing her in, the Maz, that whole the new cantina scene.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
With the reggae music, that was sweet.
Yeah, they're looking good. It's just, I mean, already that'll give us at least 45 additional action figures.
Oh,
that we
yeah.
all
Okay,
want.
yeah.
And then
Star Wars chest. I mean,
everything.
the little poker thing they're playing.
Yeah, load that up. We've got well now in going back, like we've talked about in our previous stuff, is like, okay, so here's the 12-year plan or the 20-year plan already.
Well, they're going to be releasing one every year.
Rogue
For
Squad's
the
coming
next
next year,
8 years.
and then
So
episode
it's-
8 the year after.
Yeah.
Right, you know.
and that's going to be a year.
It's Disney. They're going to
and
milk it for all it's worth, and
Yeah.
we're going to eat it up
Oh,
because
Honestly, though, I mean, like, not even
It's
being
fine,
Disney.
so long
It's
as it's
Star
good.
Wars. Why would you
That's
not?
true.
You know?
Right.
Like, Star Wars is guaranteed money.
it's honestly like right now. I think studios are looking for the next Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what is out there that you can have 8 movies and
Yeah.
every one of them be huge?
Yeah.
Star Wars is the only thing.
Yep.
Right now,
I mean,
Jurassic Park, if they continue, because that's it. I mean,
yeah.
Jurassic World opened up those doors again.
That's true.
To a whole new future.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as far as something that you could make episodic and then you want to go roll
Mm-hmm.
with characters and my big fear is that it's that we get our backlash. We just like with all things, where all of a sudden, it's like I don't want, and we've talked about before, I don't want Han Solo prequel. I don't
God.
want
Yeah.
Boba Fett. I don't want any of that. As much as I love Star Wars and 36 years of Star Wars as my life, like I don't want to know Han's story. Because it's like they're going to have to get some Freddie Prinze Jr. or Chris Pratt will probably be your leading role to be Han Solo, Han Star-Lord.
And
then what?
all that aside, too, like, I agree with you, but my thing with it is it's like you make it into a movie and it's all of a sudden canon. Like, that's always been kind of the fun for me. Is like I consider the Star Wars movies canon, but then the rest of it's like I find out bits and pieces from friends who've read the comics or read the books. Like, oh, that's cool. Like,
Yeah.
Because I'm not a guy that I don't care enough to go out and, like, read about Boba Fett's entire...
Yeah.
Like, did he make it out of the Sarlacc pit? Some people say yes, some people say no. Like, I don't. I'd like to think not, but whatever. Like, it's just kind of one of those things. I just like to find out kind of through different channels, or just
let it roll. And
you hear snippets of dialogue from a side character movie. Just like, oh yeah, and oh cool. There's a nod right there. Like that's all you need to know.
Yeah, and that was the thing is that, like with the new cantina, and it's like, oh, Han walks in and somebody like there's one of the alien creatures like something. He's the guy that took down Jabba, and it's like. It's been 40 years. I'm pretty sure that story made the rounds. And I'm pretty sure that nobody should be surprised whatsoever.
Yep.
Maybe it's like Night at the Roxbury. It's like his Emilio.
Like,
So there I was, blaster in hand.
yeah.
Turns around, and who do you think it was? Jabba the Hutt, man! I swear to God, I shot him in the face.
Yeah, which
I know you yelled that.
Man, speaking of Chewie, so of all things like nerd gripes, whatever, my number like top Terry Pete number one. Nobody acknowledges Chewie when they get back from their mission. He gets off the Falcon. Nobody gives him a hug. Leia goes straight to Rey.
Maybe that's kind of a throwback to episode 4 when he didn't get a medal.
That's true.
They're just like this fucking guy. Whatever.
I mean, he lost Han, like his best friend.
He had a life debt.
partner.
He failed, and that's the big thing. If we want to go extended stuff, they had the life bond.
Yeah.
Chewie was his partner till the day he died, and he failed to protect him.
Especially in my fan fiction.
So yeah, you never got a hug. That's true.
So nobody even acknowledges
Start a
him.
Kickstarter. I'll hug
And
Chewie.
Leia, just walks up to Rey, a girl who she's never met before. Obviously, they maybe feel some force connection or something. But and then the other thing, like why would Han be so effing quick to hand over the ship? Like,
Maybe because
it's like, hey, she knew how to take out a compressor. Then like, hey, I'm gonna take you onto my crew, and you're gonna inherit my ship after her.
I guess one way I might explain that away was that Han has always been portrayed as like force sensitive. Like he doesn't have the force and he's but he's aware. Like
how
like-
Finn's talking now.
like how he came back when Luke needed him at the Battle of Yavin, and just like he just kind of has a way of just showing up when he's in most, and that's because he's
feeling it. He knows,
he's,
like, I
he's
better
just
go.
he's a little bit force sensitive. Like okay, I gotta do this. So maybe he sensed something from her too. Like hey, if she's able to handle this ship, like maybe he knew his time was up. Like.
All right.
Well, I mean, he was already. The Falcon was kind of a thing of the past for him. He had
Yep.
that other freighter where
They had
those
their new
those creatures
jump
on.
truck or whatever.
Yep.
So
Which-
I mean,
What'd you guys feel about that? I think you could have deleted that whole scene.
Yeah.
What's that?
The chase, the CG, tomato monster.
Oh.
I don't know.
Killer
It was
tomatoes.
fun.
It
was fun.
they were there, but I don't know. I
The
was
Indiana Jones callback is about
Yeah.
all I could think of.
right, and to have.
It was fun.
But yeah. Overall, though, I say 5. I go 4.5 out of 5.
I'll agree with that.
Easily.
E.
All right. Well,
The merch is definitely with us.
sticking with cinema, then let's go to the next one.
Yeah, that was our 27-minute Star Wars review.
Worth it.
So next up in the cinema, a huge one for me and Terns especially is Hateful Eight. Did you see that one, Mike?
I have not yet,
Okay.
but will be soon. That's one I'll have to go to alone, and so I'll have
Yeah.
It's a trip.
It's good. It
It's-
starts off, a little slow, but
Yep.
with Tarantino, his movies have such good dialog that even if it's slow going, it's still, there's so much good dialogue in there that you just kind of pay attention, and once it gets rolling, then
All that
man.
world building. He likes to
I'm
do.
going to say number one before we get too into it
Mhm.
is that obviously I think you guys already agree with me and aren't going to say much, but the less you know about the movie going into it, the better.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes,
Like there's
100%.
the advertising has been very little, and I think that is on purpose because they want you to go into it. Like Tarantino himself said, they called it a western. He said it's not really a western.
Yep.
He said
just set.
It's
it's a subgenre. It's a snow
Right,
western.
right.
Yeah.
Which apparently is a genre, but he said it's his attempt at a mystery, and the mystery is a much better
Yes.
categorization of it
Very
than a
much.
western.
Good.
Yeah.
Because I was really excited for a Tarantino western because I love westerns, love Tarantino, all that. But then when I saw it, I was like, that's not a western, but it's really
Well,
good movie. Really good movie.
It is a western,
It is,
but
it's not. I mean, it's not a western. Like there's
Traditional.
Cowpoke
There's no-
goes
yeah,
into
there's
town
no
to save
people-
all the
Yeah.
people.
running on trains and all. Like it's not a traditional action type western. But I mean, it's
I like how we both need to do this to talk about western.
that's the
The western happened.
Yeah, the Universal Western.
That's the universal Bible for western.
What's that from the Arrested Development? Dr. Funke
Yeah.
Tobias.
Yep.
I'm not going to cry. It goes in my paw.
No, it was great. I mean, I really like that Tarantino stays with the same actors and just gives them different roles because it's gonna be hard to picture in Tarantino movie without Kurt Russell, without Samuel
Sam
Jackson,
Jackson,
without what's that old guy's name? I can't think of him right now. Tim Roth.
Tim Roth.
Or Tim Roth. Sorry.
Yep.
You get him in there, and then the
Even
pretty much
Taylor
everybody.
Lautner. I mean, I thought he was awesome.
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum.
Jesus.
That's
Channing
the one
Tatum.
Wow.
thing. That's the one thing I want to say about the movie is I feel like it was a mistake putting his name in the opening credits.
I agree. That's why I don't mind talking about it
Because
it's there right away.
he shows up like about halfway through the movie, a little over halfway, and like it's cool, but it would have been so much cooler if I didn't know he was in it. Because when I was watching, I kept going,
Which one of these?
we're all locked in the building here. There's only a certain amount of people. When's he gonna show up? What's his role? What's gonna happen? And he shows up, and it's fine. It's still a surprise when he does, but it's at the same time, it's like, it would have been cooler to just have him be like, boom, there he is. What just happened?
Just save all the billing towards the end.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like they did with Glenn on Walking
Yep.
Dead. That was perfect. Good on you, AMC.
Samuel Jackson absolutely kills it.
Oh, God.
Oh my god.
He's
I'm looking
There was a point in the movie where me and Kyle just couldn't stop laughing.
Nice.
It was amazing.
Has to do with snow.
Snow.
Yeah, a little bit.
Good deal.
Just a little bit.
So here, and I saw the big thing talking, Hateful Eight, this whole 70mm debacle,
Yep.
and the whole, which here we don't have any
No.
projection theaters.
Apparently in
anymore.
Canada there's only 2 in the entire nation of Canada, and in order to go to it you had to win a contest. So
Which No, I think we talked about that a little bit before, where it's like I understand the approach, and as a filmmaker,
The art to it.
the art to it, but then it's like, hey, let me release that 8-track. Here's our podcasts from now on are available on beta only.
Yep.
Yep, you have to get the beta and audio is on 8-track, and you have to manually sync them up.
Yes, and we'll
That's
provide
art.
you guys with the instructions on how to do that.
Art.
But, and then for that, where it's like it does limit that release, and it gets the people. Well, it makes you excited, I guess, because if you can go to the old projection houses, and then we hear all those stories. I heard like 3 or 4 different theaters of like.
There was one theater where the
cameras
film actually burned up.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's
There's
why
a guy
we
who
don't use
posted on
70
Reddit
millimeter
about it.
anymore. And
But at the same time, it's still pretty darn cool to
right,
be able to experience that today.
Yeah.
Which is there, but it's like that format's meant for drive-ins. That's meant for.
I think from what I understand, the main reason he did it was kind of a Christmas present to himself. He wanted to see his new movie on Christmas in his favorite theater, and then Disney, said "F you."
That whole scenario.
And, we only have Tarantino's side of it, so who knows? But I have to side with him. I mean, Disney did not need to chase him out of that theater.
Yeah.
So a little backstory, if you don't know about it. So I can't remember. It was the theater in Los Angeles. I
forget the name of it.
I don't know the name of it, but he went so far as to put the name of this theater in the beginning, the opening credits of the 70mm release. And this is where he grew up watching movies. So favorite movie theater. And that was his dream. He wanted to watch his new movie, 70mm, at this favorite theater.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so he had a contract with this theater. And again, this is all Tarantino's side of the story, as you can find on the Howard Stern podcast. And Disney came in and they said, we want that screen. Keep in mind that they had other screens at this theater. And, they had the contract and everything, but they wanted this additional screen. And the theater's like, well, no, we have a contract with Tarantino. He wants this screen. It's the only one that has this 70mm film. And Disney's like, if you don't kick him out of that screen, we're pulling Star Wars from your theater, from all of your screens. Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So then at the theater, you're like, okay, do I break it off with Tarantino or do I break it off with Disney? Obviously, you break it off with Tarantino.
Yep.
And what sucks, because he went through, he got the contracts, and the theater is in a shitty position, because they're bullied by Disney. But I mean, as we've learned from, was it Family Guy, that you can't mess with Disney, or was it South Park, where they had the guy who tried fighting Disney? South Park, Family Guy, Futurama. It wasn't Futurama.
Not sure.
Some animated cartoon, probably made by Seth MacFarlane, had some guy going against Disney, and it didn't turn out too well. So,
South Park, that where Mickey Mouse showed up in like all the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, I don't think it had
And
to
he
have
was
been
evil,
Family Guy then. Someone out there knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
One of
But
our hundreds of.
I'm gonna tell you, Hateful Eight right now. If you like Tarantino movies, you're gonna like it. If you got to be in the mood for a slow movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very slow. It's a slow burn.
It's dialogue
It's 3 hours and not a lot happens.
Okay, so it is.
It's a 3-hour movie, and really not much happens the first hour and a half.
Yep.
You could cut the hour and a half out and have. If you cut the first half out, you have a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a fan of Tarantino, I mean, that extra hour and a half is pure Tarantino.
That's what you're wanting,
gold.
yeah.
And that's what you want.
That's our Lord of the Rings extended cut.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that with that, and I guess once I actually see it, we'll know more about it. Do you feel like they maybe should have given this, the Kill Bill treatment? Do you think
No.
this should have all just been one?
Yep.
One.
You
solid
couldn't have made this.
Kill Bill comes in at over 4 hours, and you put two of them together. I mean, that's one of the ones where it's like, obviously you're gonna have to cut that up for a commercial release because theaters need to have multiple showings per day. But with this one, there's no way you could have cut it up.
Yeah.
And you could have apparently the first cut of Hateful Eight I read was well over 3 hours and had an intermission.
Okay.
But this one's just it's 3 hours and 2 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's not terrible.
Well, that's good to know. So I won't go to the 9:30 showing. The 10
Yeah.
o'clock show.
But yeah, good movie. I'd give it. I'd say 3.5 out of 5.
Oh, I gotta rank it up there. I need to have at least a 4, 4.5, 4. Where would you put it in? So we have 8 Tarantino films. Where would you put it right now? I mean,
Right now, I put it right after. Well, it's tough to say 'cause my way of ranking Tarantino films is off. I don't count Pulp Fiction 'cause it's everybody's favorite.
yeah.
Everybody loves Pulp Fiction, so that one really doesn't count. I don't think. But I mean, in terms of like the best, I'd probably put it after like Kill Bill 1 and 2, Death Proof, probably Hateful Eight, like right after Death Proof.
Yeah.
I mean, not it's action driven, but still really exciting, you know.
Yeah.
Somewhere around Jackie Brown, because it's kind of the same type of movie, very dialogue driven, very slow, like builds up to a.
Yeah. Bills. I was gonna say I'd put it right around where Jackie Brown is. Like obviously, Pulp Fiction, like you said, it's got to be number 1. For me, Death Proof I really enjoyed, but it's not. I just can't put that at the top.
It's not a full-fledged Tarantino film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say too that, and that's doesn't really give anything away, but I guess my hang up on it is that it felt like a retread of Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, very much.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's in the sense of, once again, he used a lot of the same actors, but it's a bunch of people in a room talking, and and it's violent and.
So one of those like you'll pick up after a few viewings like, oh, this guy's giving
Maybe
away
a few more
that.
things, yeah.
That
Yep.
guy's giving away that.
That's what I'm actually most excited for. Like I really can't wait to watch it again for that reason.
Repeat. Yep.
Is I guarantee that there is some subtle things in there that you won't notice, and then when you watch it again, you'll be like,
Well, apparently he said too, like what like one of the things that inspired him most while making this movie was The Thing, which is very much like The Thing, Kurt Russell.
Very evident.
I mean, it's very they're trying to solve a mystery of like who's not who they say they are and all that. And Reservoir Dogs, like you said, it's pretty much a retread of Reservoir Dogs, just in a more of a caper style, not a who betrayed us sort of heist movie style. I don't know.
And I mean, to me, I'm a big fan of Reservoir Dogs. I thought it was a really, it's one of his best movies.
Easily.
And so it's kind of like, all right, Quentin, I saw this before you did.
Yeah.
You did a good job with this one, but you did it.
See, it's hard to rank his movies because every time I'm like, yeah, this movie's better. Then I was like, but I also really enjoyed Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
But I also really liked Django. Like, it's really hard for me to rate his movies, but I really, really enjoyed Jackie Brown. Like, it's got to be, if I were to list a top 4, like, Hateful Eight is up there.
Yep, easily.
So,
We'll definitely
enjoyed it.
Definitely check it out. I'm hoping we get it here for more than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what. I have a feeling it'll be like one of those that just it'll fade pretty fast. And a lot of people, I think a big thing too, with theaters in general, is December, January in general. I mean that's usually your theater graveyard. And I understand, like you said, it was a personal choice for him. I mean, you're going up to personally make the decision that, yep, I want my movie out the same time as Star Wars.
well, it's 2 weeks
And
after Star Wars.
I want it out, or a week technically, I think.
Yeah.
In the big
For the
70s.
70s.
Yeah. But then, to say, yep, I'm going to drop my movie during Star Wars. I'm going to put it in a inaccessible format. I'm going to put it, so it's like, that to me, when you put that kind of, you put those limits on it, and it's like whatever money he makes on it, good for him. I just really, really, really hope that 2-3 weeks from now, because we've already read a few things about him, like bitching about the movie theaters and him bitching about whatever, and it's like, shut that up, Quentin. It's like let us enjoy your product. And don't sit there and it's like, oh, nobody ate my cake, when there's
Here's the thing about Quentin Tarantino that I hate and I love. Like, he is a guy who makes great movies. They're fun to watch, but when I see him in interviews, like he's almost unbearable. He's just one of those annoying guys. All right, he's just very all right.
Okay.
So I just did it. All right, so it's. But at the same time, he's one of those guys. Like, I think he knows he's got his like. There's people out there that are movie fans, and there's people out there that are like Tarantino fans.
Right.
you know, he's got the Tarantino fans in his pocket, and like a few of the movie fans are gonna like, you know, get in or whatever, and they'll see their thing. But like, the people that love Tarantino movies are gonna see that movie, no matter what, because they're just a fan of him.
And they
Yep.
know that
And I
it's,
can
and
definitely
that's-
put that in my category.
Yep, that's who I
Turnus
am
is the
too,
one who
yeah.
converted me to a Tarantino fan. So
Exactly, you know, and exactly. So I mean, like, you know,
it doesn't matter
and
what
he
he
is.
puts out.
And he is one of those filmmakers that
He puts his movie out whenever he feels like, you know, in whatever format he feels like, and somehow, some way, I'm gonna find a way to see
Yep.
it, you know, because
I'm
I'm
the
just a
same
fan of
way.
his, just in general.
right.
If I have to use some Tor browser and learn Japanese,
Yeah.
I will because
You'll
I'm
find
a
a way.
Tarantino fan. I'll find a way to do it. You
Life
know?
finds a way.
Yeah.
End up watching. What was his other one? Sukiyaki, Western Django, like that
Yep.
one. And then it was like, because what was the deal with that though? He wasn't a director. He was just a producer, and
Yep.
then he had a part. He had his
He likes
part
to
in
produce
it.
a lot of those
Yeah.
You know.
kind of movies.
The first Owenbach, the Protector.
Yeah.
Was it the Protector or
Yeah.
Owenbach?
Yep.
His name was all over that. He didn't have anything to do with it, but they plastered it.
He brought
Tarantino was like, I like this movie.
brought it to America. so to
Quentin
speak.
Tarantino
Yeah.
presents.
Yeah.
Which, rightfully so, because it's
Yeah.
a great movie.
Yeah. But yeah, he's got his fingers in all sorts of pies, and he knows how to play the game. Like I'm cool with that. Like
And the one thing I will say, like in interviews and stuff, I could listen to the guy talk about movies for hours, and I'm not even that big of a movie fan.
Yep.
But if there's one person that I could just spend a day with and be like, all right, Quentin, show me your favorite movies.
Yeah.
I think he will provide the best entertainment out of anybody that makes movies right now.
I do.
Apparently, too, like this is all conjecture, I guess, but he's like he doesn't seem like it off the bat, but he's a pretty approachable guy if you're decent about it. Like my friend Andrew worked down at a theater down in Aspen one summer, and he had to be there for like some of the film festivals, and one of his friends was like, you know, an usher, and she had to sit Quentin Tarantino down, and she, you know, they kind of started talking, and she mentioned she wanted to become a producer, and he had spent like, you know, 45 minutes or like an hour talking to her about like what to do and what not to do and how to get into the game, and like all this, and just like.
See, the bottom, I think he's just such a huge fan of
Yep.
the film world. It's just
Very
like,
much.
you know, if someone wants to come talk to us about something geeky,
Oh yeah.
it doesn't matter what the hell we're doing.
Here
We'll
we
talk
are,
your
yeah.
ear off for an hour, you know. It's
Exactly.
just, he's just such a fan that it's his thing, you know, and he gets the pleasure of doing it for a living.
Yep.
So, you know, we're getting there. Yeah, we need you guys
Slowly.
to share our
Slowly.
videos,
Come on.
but
That's right. C3 2016.
Snapping lessons.
Yeah.
come on.
There you go.
If you'd like to donate $20, me and Turner still need acting classes.
We do.
It's an inside
Just
joke.
setting up our.
Very much inside.
There you go. No, Tarantino. I've always been a fan, and I'm excited to go watch this one, and like I said, I'm hoping I can do the theater here. If anything, it'll be on DVD by March or April,
Yeah.
and we'll pick it up. And
I think you should
I'm
see
sure
it in
I'll
the
watch. I'll
theater.
end up watching it a few times, and I'm a fan. Speaking of which, like you said, like his influential movies and stuff like that, where, the original Magnificent Seven and Seven Samurai and then Magnificent Seven. It's like Seven Samurai, where it's like he attributes a lot of his, tons of Kill Bill was all Kurosawa stuff, and which is fantastic. But then at the same time, it's like Kurosawa, like a lot of people, amazing filmmaker, but the guy, was another mad genius, and it's like, Seven Samurai, I think it was originally intended to, don't quote me, but I believe it was something goofy, like it was originally intended to be like a 23-hour, like,
That sounds right. Like I'm pretty sure I've read that somewhere before.
yeah, it was supposed to be like you were supposed to get 3 hours with every samurai, and then their final battle.
Yeah.
Well, when they
like
first-
Hateful Eight, I was like, is this gonna be? That's why I was wondering if he'd go 2 parts and be like, here's the first 4, here's the second 4. But
I got super excited when they first released the trailer for Kill Bill because I was under the impression it was going to be a different movie for each person on the list.
right,
And then it wasn't, and like it's cool. I'm satisfied still, but at the same time, like I would love to see that. Just a different movie for each entry, and then building up to Bill. Or whatever,
Honestly, the one way you could view this movie is the first half of this movie. The first half of Hateful Eight is kind of like part 2 of Kill Bill in a sense, where it's more dialogue driven in their story, and then the second half of Hateful Eight is like the first half of Kill Bill,
Action
where it's
gets revved up.
just revved up action. So it's kind of like reverse Kill Bill in that aspect. I'd feel comfortable saying that.
Very much so.
I'll put it on the put it on the list.
All right, well,
any other theaters or any other movies in the theaters?
The Last
Has anyone
Dinosaur.
seen Alvin and the Chipmunks?
Yeah. Oh,
I did see The Last
Road-
Dinosaur.
is it pretty
Road
good?
trip.
How come the dad always has to die? Like,
Oh,
the
what
dad,
are you talking
the
about?
Good Dinosaur. Did I say Good Dinosaur?
Last
Yeah,
Dinosaur?
Last
Good
Dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
Whatever, the Good Dinosaur, the Disney one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw that with my niece and nephew. And
Oh.
another, the dad dies. So
Well, in
you
The
have
Land
to-
Before Time, the mom dies. I don't think they ever had a dad. So.
Yeah. There has to be at least
Yeah.
one absent parent figure though.
Some parent has to die in order for
The-
it's not.
the
It's
only-
not. It's
or
not a
did-
good
did
movie.
he die in
Otherwise.
the meteor crash? Or what's the theory? Or what's the synopsis?
the dad dies in a flood.
Okay.
How does a dinosaur die in a flood? Like, what kind of dinosaur?
Well, you
talking
have
about?
to see the movie.
Like Brontosaurus.
Come on, like
Brontosaurus, dude, they're like 80 feet tall.
Bronchosaurus.
Bronchosaurus. Voiced by Peyton Manning.
With the 18
and the
foot.
Dr. Moreau shit. Fucking
But how does
The
like
Brontosaurus with a huge forehead.
regardless, how does a dinosaur that size die in a
He
flood?
just keeps talking about defensive patterns. And the water sweeps him. No, it starts raining and like he falls down a hill because they're between two mountains and there's a river in there.
Oh,
And so he falls, the dad falls
Well, that
saving the
sucks.
kid.
Wow.
happens.
Sniff.
Happens. Same thing happened to Superman
Yeah,
in Man of Steel.
it does happen.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Twice, actually. Sucks for that guy. God.
Uh,
No wonder he's so depressed.
the oh boy.
Yeah.
I see he was a
Dinosaur-
father figure. Ah!
The the
that one
trailer
keeps-
for I think it's like The Secret Life of Pets looks pretty hilarious.
for
It's one
next
of
year.
those
Yeah. looked
Pixar
entertaining.
things. Yeah, it looked entertaining at least.
You were saying January is typically a graveyard. What were we talking
Kung
about?
Fu Panda.
Kung Fu Panda
3.
comes out at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Not-
crazy.
Not Jack Black. Not.
Wait,
Yeah, that's Jack Black.
yeah, that's Jack
I
Black.
thought this one is the one because
No.
was it part 2? Which one went right to DVD? That was Kung Fu Panda, right? Or is
No,
there?
no.
What's the knockoff one then?
There must have
What's
been in
the-
between or something like that.
There was-
What?
Because 1, 2, and 3 are all
Yeah.
had
That's
full
There's
copy
a-
releases, I believe.
I'm thinking of a different.
Is it like
A different
Kung Fu Brown Bear.
Actually,
Karate
this is,
Brother Bear,
This is funny. Did you see?
Taekwondo Kangaroo,
Yes, George.
Krav Maga Crocodile,
Krav Maga.
Hong Kong Fooey.
That's coming. That's coming.
There was a dude who sued DreamWorks over Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, I saw that. The
I just
artwork.
read that article.
Said
today.
that he invented or he came up with the idea for the Panda Power Hour when it was just a drawing he lifted from a Disney coloring book.
Yeah,
And just
like no.
gotta love it.
Some people. Well, I thought I saw something. Maybe it was the same article, but somebody said they came up with an idea for a movie too that they were suing for, and it was like, yeah, I came up with the idea in 2011, and the movie came out in 2012, and it was like, dude, those movies take like 3 years to make. Like, that's not. You can't say that.
Well, you can, but you're
Rational,
crazy.
yeah, well, not rationally though. Like, oh yeah, he's right. I came out with that idea the day before the movie came out. That's mine.
Yeah. What was I gonna say?
Turns from the extremely upset 9.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks ago. Freaking
Oh.
Tarantino ripping him off.
Let's see.
Oh man.
You just took one guy out and made the other ones angrier.
So what do we got? Oh, The Forest, Natalie Dormer. That comes out this weekend. Smirk Girl. How excited for Ride Along 2?
I was actually talking about that. Like,
How the hell did they make enough money off the first one?
I don't think they did necessarily. I,
I
think they're just like, we should put those guys in another movie.
There's a Conan O'Brien short where it's Conan O'Brien, Kevin Hart, and somebody else that's
Ice
driving.
Cube.
Ice Cube.
Ice Cube, yes.
I mean,
Right
if
on.
they made a movie like
With
of that, I would watch the shit out of that because that clip was hilarious.
See, and the thing with that is, I think it's one of those other studio pictures where like, hey, these two guys worked well in a movie. Let's make a sequel about the same thing, but make it more extreme. Like this guy who was in the ride along, the first one's now a cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's great and all well and good, but I'm more of a fan of like the Judd Apatow whatever approach. It's like these guys were great in a movie. Let's put them in another movie.
Hey,
It
let's
can be
talk
about something
about
completely different, just unrated.
let's
Just
talk about the Ridiculous Six for a second. How good? Like that was actually a good movie.
Netflix, yeah.
I think.
I still have not seen it.
Out.
Okay.
I wouldn't call it a good movie. I'd call it Adam Sandler's best movie in a while.
I don't know. I really
I'll
enjoyed
give
it.
it was good.
It was enjoyable.
Dumb Adam Sandler stuff, and
Yep.
it's like with all your favorite all your Happy Madison cameos. You know, the overall, I did, you know, I mean, if you compare it to like a Blazing Saddles, definitely.
Nothing,
you
not
can't.
in the same league, but
Well, you know what I'm saying, like, because Blazing Saddles, you know, here's your comedic western. It's meant to be dumb humor. It is meant to be that way, and like with Ridiculous Six, it's like they kind of went back and forth, where it was like they had a serious script for the most part, comedically
Delivered,
delivered, and. You know, I didn't think it was bad. I thought, I mean, I like
3.5 out of 5 for me. It was pretty damn
you know,
good.
it's worth a watch if you you know, I've definitely sat through worse. I mean,
I wouldn't have been happy if I would have paid the theater for it.
Right.
But as a Netflix movie that they just it's
throw it on there. Yeah.
You can spend a lot worse time in that.
I don't know. When we start talking about Adam Sandler, I just feel myself going 1,000-yard stare. I don't know what it is. I can't get behind the guy anymore. You know,
Crazy
I'm
nights.
I'm just over it now. Just
like if you just take Click and then forget everything that happened from Click to hit the Ridiculous Six, I think you'll be okay.
Of course, the only movie we're waiting for now is Deadpool. So
I was just gonna say we have the countdown to Deadpool. Before Deadpool, though.
I was gonna say, what else comes out this year, Mike? Let us know what to get excited for.
Well, at least so our upcomings. Let's see, January this month we have the Fifth Wave with Chloe.
That
Moretz.
does look pretty cool.
Looks kind of interesting.
It's definitely not a theater movie for me, but I'll give it a watch.
One I'm excited for, and hopefully we get it here. The Boy, and that's with my screen crush Lauren Cohen.
That one. The dummy.
With the dummy, with his boy, this plasticized child that looks pretty creepy, and I'm excited. I don't know if we're gonna get that in the theater here or not, but it's got Lauren Cohen in it, so I like her a lot. Lauren, if you're watching,
she's not. Give it up.
One day.
You don't know.
We have hundreds of viewers. She could be one of the hundreds of viewers.
We have literally dozens of subscribers.
We have hundreds of viewers though. So.
Wow, I'm sorry.
There are tens of them.
Tens
The dozens and dozens.
We have that coming. End of the month, Laser Team. Did you guys see the previews for that one at all? This one actually, it looks pretty interesting. Concept being is that this essentially like this mech suit. It reminds me a lot of the Guyver. Do you guys remember?
I believe.
But anyways, where it's like the suit comes down to Earth, and it's essentially like, you know, if you have the power to wear the suit, you know, the suit will find you type of thing. And then what it does is that it triggers like, it's like you're supposed to put on this suit, and then this race of aliens is going to come, and it's like you're the chosen one. You know, whoever gets this armor is meant to fight this. But then it turns, and it's like you're four, hapless, homebody dudes. And they come across the armor, and essentially it's like one guy gets the boots, the other guy gets the gloves, one guy gets like and so
that actually sounds pretty interesting.
They all have to, figure out how to work together in order to.
I like it. It's a good premise.
But Laser Team is what that one. I think it was supposed to come out last year. We'll be getting it here. Let's see, moving along here. We have Kung Fu Panda 3, I guess.
You don't get
Pride and Prejudice and Zombies in February.
Finally.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that one, I guess. But they've been making forever, like seriously.
Forever. So I'm excited for that one, and then that comes out, just a week before Deadpool. Really interesting though when we talk about the winter graveyard. Like February gives us Deadpool and Zoolander 2, both doing the Valentine's Day release, which
Zoolander, I mean.
I should probably watch the first one.
It's amazing. Mugato.
Mugato.
And then we have, let's see, our big one, February 26th. We're looking at Gods of Egypt, which looks really interesting.
I don't know. It kind of looks like Clash of the Titans.
Right.
Looks like a CG fest to me.
Yeah.
It's going to be Clash of the Titans 2.0, but if you're into that.
There was that. We have, what's the one? Standoff, next Thomas Jane movie, which I thought was The Punisher 2 in the preview I watched.
What about a homeless dad?
No Homeless Dad.
Just want my kids back.
Just want my kids back.
Other than that, up until
Batman versus Superman
in March,
Yep.
which is dropping the same day as My Big Fat Greek Wedding
Oh my
with
god.
John
Oh.
Stamos.
What are we gonna do?
So,
Oh
What are
God.
we gonna do?
that's,
Oh God.
Batman versus Superman's in trouble now.
yeah.
Take the day off so we can go
Did
to
you not in theaters but just recently came out to Blu-ray? Have you seen American Ultra yet?
I have not.
Jesse Eisenberg,
American
Kirsten
Ultra.
Stewart, and
Yeah, Kristen Stewart.
Topher Grace.
Topher Grace, who looks exactly like he does in that '70s show.
Always.
But
That poor kid is never gonna
Yeah.
grow up.
it was good.
Ever.
It was
He's
definitely
gonna. Topher
enjoyable.
Grace is gonna be one of those guys. They're gonna give him like even when he's like 65.
Yeah, he's still gonna
He'll
play
have
high
the beard.
schooler.
Yeah, he'll still be playing.
Hello,
college
fellow
Foreman.
kids.
Yeah. You know.
That was the whole thought, like the whole movie. I was like, man, Red's just gonna put his foot in your ass, like.
The whole, yeah.
But it was an enjoyable movie. It wasn't like the mind-bending cinema experience, but cinema experience. But
Cinnamon experience. as cinnamon does tend to.
But can you see why kids love the taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
That's right.
Because it's mind-bending.
Yeah,
Well, with the mind-bending taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
yes.
Let's
Real. Let's see. It's 2016. Everybody, 2015 overall was really good for all of us, right?
I give 2015 a 5 out of
8
6.5.
for 5 out of 7.
All right.
So
Good deal. For mine this year, 2015, I'd give it about an 8 out of 12.
Cool.
You know.
I don't know. It was good.
you
It was
can
good.
Yeah.
I mean, on a personal note, it was pretty good for me and Kyle. So
It's 35
Interns.
divided by 50. And I give myself a 50% chance, but I'm the genetic freak, so I give myself 2/3 chance of a genetic freak of 55% chance. So you're dealing with a 75% chance of the best 98%.
cool there.
It's
big
numbers.
Booty daddy.
that's
All I
the,
care about are
I'm hungry.
are my peaks and my freaks.
that's the only thing that can rival Josh.
Shut up! I can't play no guitar.
You just beat people up.
I just beat people up.
And with Scott Steiner, Omix versus Josh and Omix, I
Oh.
think that's a good ending point. What? Unless Mike
And
has a
quick,
closing word.
real quick, wrestling question: is Scott Steiner, or
Yes, the answer is always yes.
yes? No, who's the dude? Who's the old gray guy they brought into WWE?
Rhino.
I thought it was Steiner at first. The guy has like big gray handlebar mustache. He's one of the hillbilly tie-ins, I think. It's either that or it's Fit Finley, and they.
You're talking
do it
about?
all.
Are you talking about Zeb?
What?
I don't know if it's Zeb.
Yeah, Zeb Coley rides around in a little
The
scooter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Big.
Dutch Mantel, man. That's Zeb.
Okay, Dutch Mantel. Okay. At first, I saw the action figure the other day, and then
Zeb has his own action figure. Did
Yeah.
you get the scooter too?
No,
Terrible.
no.
Oh man.
But at glance, I thought it was Rick Steiner. And I was like, whoa! I was all excited, and then
Were you able to take the clothes off and see the ridiculous tattoo he's got now?
no.
I don't know if you've seen it, but like his whole
On Zeb?
on Scott Steiner.
Oh, God.
Like he just used to have that cross
Mhm.
heart tattoo. He's like done the whole back stuff and like it's all like black.
Oh,
It's
boy.
crazy.
Ugh.
Like you gotta look it up.
Oh jeez.
But it's terrible.
On Scott Steiner?
On Scott Steiner.
Wow.
What apparently there's nothing.
Scott Steiner math.
There's nothing
is,
finer. Scott Steiner math
Is the, when I typed in Scott STE, Scott Steiner math was the first fill in for.
as it should be.
Yeah,
for good
it
reason.
said it's the only thing that rivals Joshonomics currently. So
We have our best scientists trying to decipher both.
they're still working on them.
So where did Rick Steiner go?
Oh boy,
Is he dead? No.
No, he's still around.
Nobody's showing
he's
his.
standing in
He's
line
back.
for
He's-
Virgil.
He's at Burger King. I was at
Working
King
the
other day.
drive-through.
It was weird. I was like, dude, I know you.
Try for. But yeah, 2015 said and done.
Lots to look
Movies are
forward
good.
to.
A lot of good video games. We had our Fallout. We gave you guys our top 5.
Apparently,
Did we ever give them our top 5?
apparently, The Witcher 3.
We recorded the video. It still has to come out.
Yeah, The Witcher 3.
I've been moving.
Yes.
The Witcher 3, I guess none of us have played, but that won over
Witcher 3 was
1,000
great, yeah,
Game
it
of the
was-
Year awards. So
Yep.
I'll
Which
have to pick that up.
every year, isn't it funny that there's more and more out of all the
Oh,
industries? Every year it seems there are more and more video game awards than
Yeah.
there are.
I'm pretty sure
film
they
or
included
music
like
or-
the C3 award. So
Yeah,
we can.
next year we'll be on the Witcher 4's
Hell yeah, we will.
gold box.
I don't know. That means I
Yeah.
have to give it the best of the year. I don't know if I'm willing to commit to that.
No, it
yet.
doesn't. It means
Jaw
you
drop.
gotta write a really printable
That's
snippet
true.
about
I
it.
could do that.
Well, according to Josh and Alex, can't you have multiple games of the year?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's
It,
Which is a good
on.
thing.
it works itself out.
Yeah, it works itself
Yeah.
out.
It pays for itself.
That's right.
Initially. like pizzas.
Yeah.
Like 50% discount pizzas. That's
It
possible
costs
to retail.
$84 for 2 pizzas and like a side.
It works itself out, guys.
No, it doesn't.
God damn
$7 a
it,
slice.
Josh.
$7 a slice.
That's inside. That's too inside.
Yeah.
Too much universe
but
building.
Too much universe building.
Yeah.
But with that,
Continued.
I will say, once again, greater things are on the way.
Mm-hmm.
Greater things are always on the way.
Always.
Hopefully, yeah, this spring.
Yep, your homework until the next C3 podcast is to watch old episodes of Family Matters.
Mm-hmm.
But only
Because
some.
only some of them, because like it's really funny how they go from dark and teaching you a lesson to like ridiculous. So go back and watch them. Let us know what you think.
God forbid you go back and watch any of our videos. Watch Family Matters.
Yeah.
Which?
Come on, Josh. How about here?
Yeah. Come on.
Hey, we have a Family Matters special.
Snapping
That's
us.
right.
We do have
It's not a-
Family Matters.
But it's not a legitimized episode. Go back and watch our videos too,
Yeah.
you guys.
Check them out.
Watch
And
the
by the
Pass
time
the
you get through all the
Popcorn.
C3 videos, then you'll be mentally prepared for Fuller House
Oh my god.
premiering this summer on Netflix.
On Netflix.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Speaking of Netflix, C3 is coming out with their own streaming platform.
We are not.
Yeah, it's
You can
coming
pay-
soon.
you can
It's
pay
called
us-
YouTube.
You can pay us $19 a month to get exclusive
That's
C3.
right. In the C3 bento
Access.
box. Which isn't, we can make a legit thing.
We would like
So,
to actually. I would,
You know, $19.95. Each
we
one of
just
us will
moved.
hand
I got a
pick
pair
an
down of my
item.
collectibles.
Yeah.
We can box some stuff up and send it out to you if you want. You know?
Tell you what,
Turn us as crap.
if you have survived the 57 some minutes that we've
You
been chatting away,
outlasted the Geek Pro.
yeah. If you outlasted that camera, drop us a comment down below.
Please.
And I
And
tell you
we'll
what,
send you something.
we're gonna send you first comment on this video that's not a family or friend. We will send you a one of a kind C3 bento box.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Absolutely.
Item-
What if
item-
it's a family friend?
Friend of the family or a family friend?
Either.
Isn't that the same thing? My world is just like blown to pieces right there.
Either way, I'll stop derailing you.
So
Yeah,
either
either way.
first comment. We'll
I'm
we'll
totally
send you
down for that.
something.
We'll figure something out,
C3
man.
bento box.
Yeah. So that'll be our
Do
gift
that.
to you for 2016.
Will at what's it called? Is not eligible.
Yeah, with a
Oh.
pinky.
Yeah.
Will, thank you.
Yeah.
Will, we love you and the best to your store, but you will not win like you won the Groot.
It was randomly drawn. There was
Why would you enter the guy who literally buys them?
there was an Excel spreadsheet with a random number generator, and Joshonomics was applied.
There was names and a hat.
Good God.
And by sheer luck, yeah,
Stupidity.
it happened.
All right.
So 2016.
On that
thank you
note, get your
guys.
Get ready for
Like us.
2016.
Subscribe, comment. Please comment.
Please.
Follow us on the Facebooks, the YouTubes, the MySpaces,
Twitters,
Twitter.
We do have a Twitter.
Tumblers,
Catch me in
Link
2
down.
weeks on the
Last
Call with Carson Daly?
Suplex
Are you on
City.
there?
Suplex City Limits
Suplex
podcast.
You're gonna be
I'm gonna be
subbing.
I'm gonna be burning Suplex City to the ground.
Right on, right on.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right,
All right, well,
do it.
signing
Thank you
off.
guys. I'm Mike.
Josh,
Turn us. You know
Kyle.
me.
Try it
and
again.
we're the forgettable four.
Get out of here.
We'll see you next year.
Still better than the last before.